You are listening to Insurance Untangled podcast, where we explore the various challenges faced by dental practices due to their reliance on insurance. In this podcast, we dive deep into the issues surrounding dental insurance dependence and offer practical solutions and strategies for reducing your reliance on insurance. Join us as we interview industry experts, share success stories, and provide valuable insights to help you take control of your practice's financial future.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Insurance Untangled podcast. My name is Ben Tuine, and I'm one of the co-hosts of this podcast. We created this podcast and dedicated it to helping practices that are tangled up with insurance. We talk about topics that are very beneficial in the sense of helping you take more control back to your practice from insurance. And, naturally what that does is it does help create a bigger, a better, and brighter future for you, your patients, and of course, your team members. Today, I have my co-hosts with me today, Naren and Jordan. Gentlemen.
Yo, what's up?
What's happening?
Just chilling,
Hey,
man.
Ben. Hey, Jordan.
What's up, you guys?
Well, it's
Doing
great.
great.
That's awesome. It's great to always great to chat with you guys. And of course, today we're going to be interviewing Jordan about the topic of why membership plans fail.
Yes.
Oh, I have so many questions on that.
So common.
Yes, as well as so many thoughts on that too. But you're the expert, and we're going to ask you a few questions about this, Jordan, because this is an epidemic in dentistry. I mean, it's so before we kind of dive into these questions, Jordan and Aaron, I just spoke to a new friend, and the wife is a dentist, Dr. Reddy, out of San Diego.
Okay.
She was part of that Fijian coup way back in the year 2000 when I was living in New Zealand. And it's crazy that, in talking to her husband, who he's Scotch Irish, the world doesn't even know that coup happened. There were people that were killed and slaughtered, and unfortunately, we live in a world where there are wars and conflicts that happen all the time.
Yeah,
but we don't hear about these things, right? They just seem to be low on the radar in terms of news or whatever it may be. And I kind of feel like membership plans and the failure rate of membership plans is in that category. We don't talk about it as an industry. And it's a big mistake, in my opinion, simply because when you talk about insurance dependence compared to a life or a practice where you have, majority membership plan patients, this is the easier model, less stressful model.
Yeah.
This is the model that we know that our lives are controlled and dictated by insurance. Why are we not focusing more on the failure side of things, right? So jumping into this, Jordan, first question is, what makes a successful membership plan?
Yeah, let's define that first. I think that's important, right? So the first thing is making sure that you have a subscription, right? You're offering a subscription plan to your patients. A lot of practices that I speak with all throughout the country say that they have a membership plan, but it's really just a one-time cash discount plan where the patient pays like a $400 payment and for the year, and they get discounts and things like that. And then they when they go to the office next year, they pay it again manually. It's not really a program. It's just when you come in, when you feel like it. There's a lot of lapse of coverage when you do that. So that's one reason why membership plans fail, is they're not using it as a subscription program and benefit to the office. Systems is another thing. I see a lot of practices still using manual systems today, right? So having good systems allows you to have a successful membership program, great marketing, and month-over-month growth. That's key to see a successful membership program. And what I mean by that is every month you're signing up 30 to 100 new patients a month. We do see that. Those are real stats from our top 10 growing practices across the country. And so month-over-month growth is really important. Often I see practices that have a membership plan and they're like, yeah, we started it 6 years ago and we got 50 members on it. And they think it's great, but it's like, no, like these types of patients are really profitable for your practice. So as you said, Ben, it's like, why are we focusing on the least profitable patients through a PPO when we could be identifying and marketing to the right type of patient? So month over month growth is key for a successful membership program. So that's kind of how I think about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really, I like the fact that you just nail it down to three things: subscriptions,
Yeah.
systems, marketing month over month, and making
Marketing
sure
and month
this
over month growth go
growth.
together, right? Because if you're
Yeah.
not marketing it, you're most likely not growing it.
Exactly. So like always looking at, hey, how many membership plan members do we have each month, and making sure the number continues to grow every month.
Yeah, and a lot of the times you have churn too, right? Or cancellations. So you got to keep track of that so that you can ensure month over month growth.
Right. Let me ask the elephant in the room question, the obvious
Yes.
question, but I guess nobody likes to talk about. Dental practice, like most businesses in healthcare, they have a routine, right? The assistant does what the assistant does, the front desk what the front desk does, maybe insurance or answering phones, etc. Everybody has a job to do, right?
Yeah.
So you're bringing something totally new, something that they didn't have to think about, they don't have to worry about, they don't have to take care of, they don't have to work on. What happens when the team is not bought in? What happens when they don't embrace it?
This is probably the biggest problem. And when we say team, it's not just the front office team, it's the entire team in a dental practice. If they're not bought on, and I've got several examples of that, but they're not bought on, like you're not going to go anywhere. It's just going to be a massive failure for your practice. And when I like to implement things, I like them to be successful. Why do we let it fail in dentistry so much? So this is what I see happen a lot. The practice owner gets so excited about implementing and launching and growing a membership program, and he or she, they start, but they don't really tell their team members on what they're doing or why they're doing it or how they're doing it, and it just never gets lifted off the ground, right? So it's really important to communicate with your team members, whether you're an office manager or a practice owner, on what it is and why you're doing it for your patients and for your practice. And another reason why team members aren't bought in is because the practice owner fails to incentivize their team to grow this type of patient base in their practice. And as I said, with my first comment is, these patients are the most profitable patients that you can have, and the most committed, because they're committing with their wallet, right? They're subscribing monthly or yearly to your practice and your practice only. And yet, most practices don't communicate their teams and don't get buy-in or incentivize to attract those types of patients. So we see this, like even with like the hygiene department. I had a practice that I spoke to the other day, and he's like, I love the membership plan concept, but my hygienists don't want to push it. And I simply asked, well, doc, what are you doing to incentivize your hygienists? He's like, well, nothing. I'm like, well, that's your problem. You got to align your business goals and your business needs to your team. What makes your team excited? So incentivizing your team to get them bought in is super key, right? And not everyone's motivated by money. If you're bonusing per sign up, which that does happen. Some of our most successful practices will incentivize and give their team members like call it a $20 bonus or something like that adds up, week over week. You could do, like, at the end of the month or end of the quarter, you could do a company party or whatever, right? You can be creative, but the thing is, at least have some type of incentive to get your team bought in. That's how I think about it. And our most successful practices in Hawaii, and they're constantly signing up 80 plus members per month, and they track. They use Boom Cloud. We have a rewards tracking system to incentivize your employees. They track every single one of their employees, and they know exactly how many patients each employee is signing up, and they reward them. So I think it's as simple as that. And of course, you can get as creative as you want when it comes to incentivizing. So
that's awesome. It's interesting that you mentioned Hawaii.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. They have meth teeth here in the United States, and in Hawaii, it's called pakalolo teeth.
Is that meth teeth? What does that mean?
Pakalolo is marijuana.
Marijuana
teeth.
All right.
Just kidding. I'm from Hawaii, so if you're from Hawaii, don't be offended. You can't be offended because I'm a native. But
that's funny.
So I, Jordan, I personally believe that membership plans should they should be very important to dental practices. And yet it kind of seems like we're still very young
Yes,
in terms of pushing out
very.
this whole message for practices to do this. Can you build a case as for the audience as to why they should focus more on memberships, like subscriptions? I think we should probably bring it down to subscriptions.
Yeah.
Why should subscriptions matter in our lives as business people?
Yeah. So yeah, it starts with subscriptions. Well, because you get predictable recurring revenue and you can build up that revenue stream to a point where it's covering your overhead, whether you do dentistry or not. Right. And then what we've seen in the data says that a membership patient spends 3 times more within the practice than a non-member. It's 3 times more. The same effect is happening to Amazon Prime members, Costco members, anything that has a membership program. There's a reason why these large companies are making it a core offering and expanding, because they get the predictable recurring revenue and they get the loyalty and it makes it easier for patients to say yes, because they get benefits and savings, and it's just a good deal both for the practice and for the patient. So, I mean, that's the reason why. And when you build that type of model, you're not having to deal with insurance. You're dealing directly with the patient. It's so easy. And then your profit margins, you control them versus a third party. And your cash flow and recurring revenue, it's so critical. So, and then the patient experience, that's really important. Most of the time, a patient, if they're on a PPO plan and they're needing to get restorative work done or whatever, it gets really complicated and really confusing for patients, because most of the time, like we're in this industry, we understand how insurance works, we understand the time it takes and what we need to do to make insurance work for us. But patients and just the average consumer has no idea, right? They think if they sign up for an insurance plan that, oh, they're good, they don't have to pay for dental care, right? And that's just not the case. So when you eliminate that confusion, make it super simple, you just get a better patient experience and a better buying experience through your practice. So that's why memberships and subscriptions matter.
Thank you, Jordan. I agree. I think subscription is like automatic, right? So people kind of, you become, you meaning the dental practice becomes something that's automatic for them. Like they're just part of it, and they already paid for it. They're going to take advantage of their benefits, of course. Take advantage of the 10% savings, assuming you're going to give that savings as part of your membership plan. They're going to do those high value services, whether it's veneers, crowns, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about, you said there are 3 things, and one is subscriptions, and second one is, like having your team being bought in, and I think we called it systems and so forth. And then finally, marketing. So let's talk about marketing for a second. Why is internal and external marketing so important? Again, your goal is to not have dental membership plan fail, right? That's what Boom Cloud is all about. So, of course, you focus on these 3 things. So why is internal and external marketing so important?
Yes. So let me start with some stats. We see our average practice is 3 times more successful than a practice that uses a competitor platform. And our practices on our platform are 7 times more successful than if a practice were to manually manage a membership program without a system and without marketing systems, right? So it's really clear to me that practices need support and help when it comes to managing and scaling these membership plans. And it does start with internal and external marketing. Internal is obviously easy. That's the low-hanging fruit. You've already developed a relationship with those patients, and you may have a batch of uninsured and inactive patients that you can offer a membership plan to. You can text them, you can email them, you can target them as they come back into the practice and communicate that you have a membership program, or send an announcement letter out to your patient base announcing that you have a membership program. That's all internal marketing that needs to be done. A lot of practices sometimes won't, the ones that fail say, well, I don't want to market to my existing customers. Why? They're not. The biggest issue that a practice has when they have uninsured and inactive is those patients aren't engaged as much as a PPO patient in the practice, because, well, they think they can't go in because they don't have insurance, right? So it's like, well, there's patients are sitting there in your database, turn it into a recurring revenue stream. and often we get, and it's mostly the fee for service practice owners. They're like, well, I already collect 100% of my fee anyways. Why should I do a membership program? Well, it's because you're generating predictable recurring revenue plus the restorative care that they say yes to on a regular basis when they need it, if they're a member. So marketing, starting with your existing uninsured and inactive patients, it's so smart to turn that into a recurring revenue stream versus just sitting empty in your practice, right? So that's why you want to start with internal. External marketing is just as important because that's where your growth rates will come in addition to the existing patients. So, and external marketing is awesome because that's going out to potential new patients through, there's so many marketing channels out there through SEO, through Google search ads, through social media, direct mail marketing, direct to business marketing and their employees. There are so many different ways that we can go about finding patients and getting them to join your membership program to help you with that growth rate. So internal and external marketing are critical. And that's one of the things we see that makes a practice fail with this is they just don't put any effort towards any type of marketing. Even if you just started with internal marketing with your existing patients, you're going to be good, right? But you're eventually going to have to turn on the external marketing switch as you sign up the majority of your uninsured base and inactive base.
Like, I mean, of course, we do marketing, and a couple of opportunities that everyone should go after is half of America is not insured. So that's like
it's an amazing addressable market.
Exactly. and very few of them have on membership plan. So literally it's like a blue ocean, like where there's literally nobody
it's so
around.
Blue ocean. It's crazy how blue it is, and especially with like the local businesses, small businesses, like every employee that joins our company, we give them a benefit of we pay for the membership plan for the dental office down the street that we've contracted with, and our employees love it that they get it and they don't have to deal with insurance. They're like, yeah, we know what we're getting. We get our preventative care done, and if we need any type of restorative, we know that we're going to get a discount off of it, right? So it's for the local business, like marketing, I think that's really important to do in your community. And you may even have, business owners that already go to your practice that all you have to do is open your mouth and have a conversation with them about joining your membership plan. That's all marketing is opening your mouth and communicating.
Even SEO, right? Like targeting those people who are looking for a dentist, looking for, have an emergency, and you get them in, and then you sign up with your membership plan, and now start taking care of their oral health, they become excellent patients. So there's so many practices you can do on marketing.
Well, the cool thing about marketing, because we can look at like pricing as part of marketing, and like how you go to market and use the language, right? And even plan design is part of marketing. You mentioned emergency patients. We know that patients are like in need when they're searching. I'm looking for an emergency dentist. You can create an emergency only membership plan. I've seen this through our practices where they create emergency onlys. And it's like, I don't know what you would charge for it. I'd have to look, but let's call it, $20 a month. And the patient says, I can get access to you whenever I have an emergency, right? It's like a plan for those warriors, I guess. But there's all sorts of plans. You can do whitening plans. We know that whitening is searched the most on Google. We have practices that do whitening subscription plans. You can target denture subscription plan, denture maintenance plans. You can do all sorts of things if you're creative enough within your practice and understand the needs of your area, right? Because maybe you're in a young area and maybe perio may not be as popular, but we know that perio plans are really lucrative for a practice if they can offer them. So it really just depends on the demographics that you're targeting in your area. And on that note too, with marketing, understanding those demographics and like the income levels in your area and who you're marketing to is so critical to get the pricing right and attracting, a month over month growth rate through the right pricing and the right demographics. So there you go.
Awesome, Jordan. Awesome. What resources do you have for our listeners that want to learn more about what you're talking about?
Yeah, so we got a ton of resources. Just go to boomcloudapps.com. or boomcloud.com. Both will take you to our site. We have some free ebooks that you can download. We have the $1 Million Membership Program, where we document how our practices are turning their membership programs into $1 million membership programs, meaning they're generating $1 million of annual recurring revenue just through their subscriptions. And that's not through restorative care. So practices, whether they do dentistry or not, are generating that type of revenue. So we teach you what they're doing, how they're marketing in the book. It's free. There's a course that's optional that you can get with it as well when you download the ebook. So that's what I suggest everyone do, is grab the $1 Million Membership Plan ebook on our website, boomcloudapps.com.
Thank you so much, Jordan. I really learned a ton. And of course, Ben, thank you for co-hosting this podcast. The topic today is a very good one. And I think most of you who are thinking of a membership plan needs to listen to this podcast. Why dental membership plans fail. Jordan addressed some of the core reasons why they fail, and he even gave you solutions on how to avoid them. So definitely listen to it, possibly listen to it with your team, even share it with your friends.
Yes.
If you like what we do here, of course, share this episode and all of our episodes with your colleagues on social media, maybe even forward it, listen to it during your team meeting. And of course, we appreciate your reviews. So you can write a review for us on iTunes, Google Play, etc. Also the website, Insurance Untangled, you will have freebies, resources, links, all kinds of things. So please go to insuranceuntangledcom. Till we meet again, have a wonderful, amazing week ahead.